It's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very peachy.
I couldn't find any sour ales at that fucking liquor store. It was towards the end of the giant wall of coolers, and I just saw Royal Peach Sour Ale, and I said, fuck yeah.
Prize?
I'm in, brah.
Priaz?
Prize Brewing. I'm sure it's Prize.
God, I can't read.
The Royal Peach with the crown on looks like a heart. I didn't try looking at the back. No. I'm not even going to try. It's going to hurt my eyes.
It's only 4.8.
Well, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And we doing filmographies. I'm going to be honest. This movie that we're covering right now, it just kind of washed over me. Like, I had a little bit of a hard time paying attention to it. It was so bizarre.
Well, first off, the quality of it is not very good.
No, it's hard to tell who's who.
And in fact, it's so bad that there actually is titties in here. But the YouTube algorithm must not be able to identify them and flag it. So it just goes unnoticed. They're topless when they're playing tennis. Like, some of it looks fine, but then some of it's just...
You mean the weird YouTube quality?
Like, for some reason, his face looks fine.
Yeah, you can pick him out of the lineup.
You can, but then, good Lord. So, this movie came out in 87.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure it was filmed in 85. I'm pretty sure this movie predates everything of note that we've seen from young Mr. Brandon Lee.
Like maybe Kung Fu the movie he did that maybe? No, probably not even that.
No, I mean, this kind of feels like the first thing. He's not even like, where is he?
We can't find him. Here's the thing.
I mean, I would like to think he's one of those guys in the barrel.
I was also wondering if maybe they fucked up and he's actually at one of the end battles. Because there was a guy who looked like kind of like
and you
had
see
his
his
hair.
face? Like, you actually see a clear face? And I was like, oh, is that him?
So guys, we watched this movie for Brandon Lee's filmography. We can't find him.
Yeah.
We're talking about The Crime Killer, or Jewel says Zeus the Crime Killer.
Which is what the poster says.
Zeus the Crime Killer. When Zeus, George Pan-Andreas, loses his partner, who I think was named Willie, David Dominguez, while raiding a trash can gang's compound, he kills two crooked cops that intended to kill him so they could claim a street bounty on his head. Zeus loses his badge in the fallout, but his police chief, Leo G. Burrell, has him secretly keep working the case. Maybe with the help of the CIA? As things heat up, drug lords plan to kill the president, but first kill his wife and daughter, which Zeus foresaw in a dream? Oh, and apparently Brandon Lee is somewhere in the opening fracas. They're planning to kill the president's kids and wife?
They killed the wife. I think that's who they killed.
She's Jacqueline Anderson. It's the president's ex-wife and the young girl. That was her adopted daughter.
That little girl?
You see the lady and the girl?
In the very beginning, who have their throats slit?
It's not the very beginning, but yes. And they're like, you're looking at it from the POV of the killer. Oh no, don't hurt us. And then he wakes up. Zeus wakes up in bed, and his extremely young child bride.
Yeah, what's up with her? She's like 19?
What's happening?
I'm George Pan-Andreas.
You're just having a bad dream. Go back to sleep. And then he goes to the crime scene the next day, and it's what he saw.
You think that's the president's wife and daughter?
I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
The president's ex-wife, her adopted daughter.
Zeus, come in here. We need your help with the president's wife and daughter being murdered.
Oh, man. I like how on the only copy of this that you can find, unless you want to spend $94 on Amazon to purchase the VHS, it says Vanity Project from trapeze artist turned film director.
Huh. Yeah, he would also, in 2017, make Matadors.
Yep.
Which, watching the trailer...
Oh, you watched the trailer?
I did. It does not make sense. It's like a young boy wants to be a matador, but it also kind of seems like there's murder or something involved.
I mean, he's Zeus again. Why is he in it?
Zeus is the father of the ancient Greek gods, and the matador was named after him.
It's a sequel, but not.
Kids are in it, though.
I tweeted him to ask him who Brandon Lee was. He's never going to respond because he did 3 tweets back in 2016 and has 3 followers.
Anti-vax.
Is he anti-vax?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
A lot of people are.
Especially on their Twitter. So here's the thing. The tagline for this movie is "The war has just begun."
You guys, this movie kicks off with like a pretty... We're going to get there. I'm so sorry.
No, so it starts and...
Oh, you don't have any... There's not a bunch of trivia on IMDb about this movie?
The only trivia is when he arrived in America, the year, I think. I mean, there's nothing going on. I have some notes that I took the liberty of writing down because there's some really weird stuff in here. And I don't know if anybody, while filming this, stopped to say, hey, this is a weird thing. I know you're from Greece and maybe you're struggling here, but this isn't good. What we're showing here. So the movie starts, him and his partner, I mean, they're just in the shit. It feels like they're in Vietnam. Stuff's exploding.
Yeah.
You know?
We don't know who these people are. We don't know what's going on. And it's
hard to make out, for one, but...
And they don't, like... The thing I noticed with this movie, they're not like cool close-ups or tracking shots. It's all like big shots, you know?
Yeah, and
like he sets the camera on the tripod and then walks into the scene because he's the director.
Wrote it too.
George Pan-Andreas wrote, directed, and stars in this movie.
It's the regular old Ben Affleck.
Vanity project.
I also don't know if he knows what any of these things are. Does he know what police do? Does he understand the CIA?
I think he's really disappointed in the crime in the USA.
He kills it, so I guess he has to.
Somebody has to step up and kill the crime.
Yeah, God, let me just make sure I'm
He's
not.
got such a deep voice, too.
Top secret.
That's right.
I will say, the music was actually pretty decent. It was a weird mix between, like, Shaft and James Bond. It's very stringy for a little bit there, and then it's, like, funk.
For a vanity project, though, also, for somebody who decides to write, direct, and star in a movie,
yeah,
he's not as bad as you would think.
No, that's just it. Like, I mean, he's got a pronounced accent.
He doesn't disappear into the character
He feels
whatsoever.
like Neil Breen.
He's much better than Neil Breen.
But better.
Yeah, Neil Breen's a fucking real freak show.
We're different. No, I'm different.
If this guy would have been able to have access to everything Neil Breen was doing, yeah, he'd dance circles around Neil Breen. He understands...
Well, he did, because he released a movie in 2017.
That's true.
Are we going to watch Matadors?
I don't know. He seems to understand plot and how it moves and how to piece a movie together and establish things. But he probably should have had somebody who had a better understanding of general American culture and language do a pass on this script.
And like an extra person that knows how to make a movie. The shootout scenes... Is there supposed to be an extra audio track because they're like weirdly silent except for the cap guns going off?
So they're just in this dilapidated foundry / junkyard, him and his partner, and they're just shooting at guys. And stuff's kind of blowing up. And then he goes, cover me. And he runs over to, there's 3 oil drums set up. And he starts tapping on one of them, knocking on it. Right?
I wonder what's in there.
And then all of a sudden, a guy pops out. Why? And he's got a knife. And Zeus puts his gun right to the guy's chest. And I thought there was a mistake because it looked like the guy reacted as if he were supposed to have been shot. But what happens is Zeus doesn't shoot him. And then the guy stabs him. And 2 more guys jump out of barrels.
What are they doing to these barrels?
And they're covered with like a sheet or something. And I think his partner shoots him. And he goes, damn it, Zeus. Why did you hesitate? I saw a kid, he says. Because the guy was kind of young. So he couldn't shoot him. And then other people are shooting. And his partner gets shot at some point.
Brandon Lee's definitely not the main guy that popped out of the barrel.
No.
Could possibly be one of the other 2 guys.
We don't see their faces.
No.
He could also be guy number 5 that gets shot in the rubble. And
A Blu-ray would really clear this up.
A direct copy, maybe.
VHS is so bad. Remember when we were watching Women and Men 2?
Yeah.
It's like everything's like milky and missing definition.
In watching VHS, just of my own volition, yeah, it's not a good format. But his partner gets shot several times, I think.
Willie.
Zeus has been stabbed, and he goes over to him and straddles him. Willie! Then they start rolling over each other to get out of the way because people are still shooting at them.
Yeah.
He's cradling him. And it's weird because periodically shots are still being fired at them and he's reacting to them, I believe. And then Willie dies and he gets up and again, people are still shooting and he like inches his way behind a big metal thing to get a clear line of the 2 dudes still shooting and kills them. But he falls down too. 2 random plainclothes police officers, or not plainclothes, uniformed beat cops come rolling up. That's Zeus over there. Oh, he's dead. Oh, we're going to get that reward on him. He's not dead. Oh, I guess we're going to have to kill him. And they both pull out their guns and point it at him. And he doesn't have a gun in his hand, but he still manages to get the drop on them and kills them.
He says something. What does he say?
Hey, guys, what? And they drop their guns and he shoots them. I don't know.
No, he's like,
A snake in the grass is worth 2 in the ass.
I think he's like, you're caught. You're bad guys. Something
Yeah, you
he
guys are
says-
dirty.
Came to help us, huh? Traitors.
And then he pops them both.
Yeah, and then we're back at the station, which kind of just looks like real estate office. Because, like, the chief, his desk is just there with everybody else's. It's like, chief should have an office.
Yeah, Chief's got a rockin' mustache.
Yeah, he does. I texted you. I don't know if you caught it. He reminded me of Bob Odenkirk in that skit from Mr. Show where he's like, J.D. Benderbinder, crime stick.
I'm F.F. Woody Cook. Shake the crime stick!
The CIA guy's like, God, once you're with us, you're always with us. I'm just a cop. I get to directly impact this neighborhood.
Can you try to do the accent?
I'm honestly fishing for it, and it's...
Hey, I'm a cop.
Oh.
And that's not it.
Spanakopita.
It's deep though. It's me, Rico the farmer. I just dig the ditches.
I stopped doing American CIA stuff. I'm a cop now because I can impact the neighborhood.
Those people out there need me, and they need me because I care about them. And when I go out on a mission, I do the right job.
And he goes, we need your badge. What? Yeah, you're done for this. You killed those 2 cops. But they were dirty.
Bang
yeah,
it.
but, you know.
He did just straight up kill them.
So he gives him his badge and he leaves. And this other cop that was witnessing this whole thing loses his fucking mind.
Why don't you just finish him up and be done with it, huh?
What do you mean, finish him up? Finish
Go
him
on,
up!
I heard the whole fucking thing. And I don't mind telling you I'm pissed off.
He was the best fucking cop ever created. I know, damn it. Why did you? You should have just killed him. You should have just killed him like those dirty cops. I know, damn it. And so they wrestle with a gun. He goes, Dick, I'm done too. And he puts his gun.
Solidarity.
And they
man.
wrestle with a gun and it shoots a bullet into the ceiling.
Terrace, are you crazy?
Come on, let's get over with it. We killed him anyway.
What am I running here, a police department or a mental institution?
And a woman comes out. What's going? Get back in there! It's just like, holy mackerel, right? Then it cuts to Zeus's woman, I think. Does it go to there or does it go to the chic pool party?
I don't know. When does the president go on the air to talk
Later.
about crime?
So I think we jump right to Zeus's house because he's still in the hospital, I guess. Even though we saw him not in the hospital. And his partner's wife and baby are in the kitchen with Zeus's child bride. And she goes, oh, thanks for taking us in. You know, my husband's dead. But boy, we're going to be a burden. You know, babies cry a lot. And I made note of this. She goes, babies cry an awful lot. And Zeus's woman goes, oh, come on. Zeus loves kids.
All of his best friends are kids in the neighborhood.
Have you ever seen this place? I mean, once in a while, it looks like a playground.
Oh, you're such a sweetie.
Which I thought, okay. I mean, Hulk Hogan was friendly with kids. I guess it's sort of like what American heroes are thought to be.
I don't think you bring them to their house.
Well,
you're not supposed to be in people's houses.
So then she goes, oh, but the house is already so crowded. You already have 2 roommates. And she goes, oh, they're like Zeus's brothers.
Are those the guys?
Yes. They live there. And apparently store their army jeep there as well. She goes, they'll build anything you want. If you don't like the room, just tell them and they'll build it. And she goes, oh, it's already tailor-made. And Zeus pulls up and he goes, I'm so sorry about your husband or whatever. And then we cut to the backyard and there's a pool. And then there's a separate area with like a hot tub. And Zeus is in the hot tub, which is going up to about his crotch. He's standing in it. He's in Speedos. His right arm is in a sling. And his left arm, he's bandying about, I think, that woman's baby who's nude. And then there's like a 5 or 6 year old boy in the pool next to them, watching him raise the kid up and down in the water. And one of his friends comes in like, hey, Zeus, check out this newspaper. I'll be there in a little bit. I'm like, what's going on here? And this is only the second strike. There's a third one later on, which I don't know if you heard or not. So they're like, oh yeah, drugs are going on and bad cops and shit. So Zeus somehow manages to get into the party.
Can I speak briefly about being friends with children as an adult and being like Hulk, as you say? I think you can be their friends and like throw a ball in your front yard in front of people. You can't bring them in the backyard. Can't bring them in your house. In public, you can be positive and a good role model.
Because as far as I understand it, he doesn't actually have children. So it's odd when a man specifically who doesn't have children befriends every child in the neighborhood and hangs out with them in swim trunks in a pool.
Right, you're
hot
molesting
tub,
them, yeah.
Unoccupied. There's no other parental aspect around. It's
right. In 20 years, there's a documentary about him.
and and so the chief rolls over.
He seems so kind. Everybody loved him. We never would have suspected.
He just killed crime. So the chief comes rolling over, and the chief seems maybe closeted. He gives me kind of a Dr. D vibe. Oh, Zeus.
Yeah.
He's got that big-ass mustache.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I just... And so he goes, hey, Zeus, I need you to, do stuff for me.
Kill crime?
And Zeus is wearing like a jumpsuit. And he's all greasy because he's working on his car. So he doesn't have his shirt on underneath it.
Do I have time to wash up?
He goes, I need you to... He goes, can you help me? And he goes, I'm not a cop anymore. And the chief peels out. Just down the block. Screeches to a stop and then comes flying backwards at full speed. Pulls into his garage.
Can you do me a favor?
Driveway. Yeah. What can I do? What can I do for you, Chief? I need you to come with me right now.
Do I have time to wash up?
No, come on!
And he handsprings over the very edge of the...
That's a pretty amazing hop. Like, he just wanted to do a Starsky and Hutch hop.
A hop like that, you could have probably cleared the whole fucking trunk.
But he basically did nothing.
Hood. Yeah, it was really dumb. So he gets in, and they go to meet the CIA?
When does he say, like, two blacks to Puerto Rican or something? He says something really, it's so
very
and weird.
Afterwards. Oh, he takes him to the crime scene. So he has a dream of the woman and a teenage girl getting murdered. And before that, we see the tough bad guy who's big. Oh, God, it's because at the pool party, the tough white guy and his slick, skinnier black guy partner.
Dave Chappelle.
I keep thinking of Pooh or Teddy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
You know what they say? Huggy Bears is where the elite meet and come to greet the neat and fleet of feet who are so sweet with the finer things of life. Beep, 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 beep.
I knew that guy's name at one point.
Yeah. Did he play Freddie Washington in Welcome Back, Kotter? Freddie Boom Boom Washington?
I don't think so.
We'll find out. And so he's pretending to be a Mexican gardener.
I was actually for a little while there. I was quite confused on who the actual like head bad guy was. I was like, is it Dave Chappelle or is it that weird beefy dude?
So he's just peering through a fence. I think in brown face.
What? I don't think he has anything on.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
He's just pretending he's Mexican.
Topless broads are playing tennis. There's sheiks there. And one sheik is talking to the big guy who has a cane.
Yeah.
And the
it's a
skinny
weapon.
guy, eventually. And they're like, oh, yes, we want the drugs.
The sheik wants airplanes.
Oh, we need $250 million in cash or whatever.
No cash in merchandise. 20 million worth. Top quality.
Do they ever specify what the drugs are?
No. I don't know if we ever actually even see... At one point, a guy gives a guy a small bag of drugs.
I think George Pan-Andreas doesn't know which drugs are which. He's like,
uncertain how it works.
Drugs are bad.
He knows they're in powder form. He got that far. But he's not sure what you do with them.
In 10 years, he'll be like, sometimes it can be goo.
So he's peering upon this drug thing that they're talking about.
Shouldn't it be like in his olives and fish? Because he's Greek.
Yeah. My Spanakopaka. And so all of a sudden the guy comes up to Dave Chappelle and he goes, oh, yeah. And first off, they toast to their drug. Now, I understand that, of course, normally a sheik isn't involved in the drug trade, but they also typically don't drink alcohol.
Oh, sure.
But yet they're drinking alcohol. But I guess if he's doing the drug, maybe he's eating pepperoni pizza too. Who knows?
Jules would be less confused if he was at all correct about the plot.
So they're like, oh, yeah, we got to go. You just chill here. And there's a lady on the balcony that we see briefly. So they go a few feet away, and now all of a sudden, Zeus is planting a tree. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, what? Hey, senor. Habla Español.
I'm Pedro.
Yeah.
It's me,
Juan.
Pedro.
Hey.
Amigo.
What are you doing? Gardening, senor. Gardening.
It's so... They go, what were you doing over there?
Oh, senor. Las mujeres son muy bonitas.
And they karate kick the shit out of him.
They beat the fuck out of him, dude.
They beat him.
These guys.
For what seems like eternity.
Do you think it's because of his not Latino accent whatsoever? He sounds like, hey, I'm from Mexico.
But I think he's also like hunching, like he's decrepit.
I'm demure.
I wonder if the fight scene went on for as long as it did because he just thought it looked cool, but also because he was like,
kick me till I come.
Clearly, I need to be beaten savagely. Otherwise, I would just kill all of you. And they're kicking him.
But what about when the guy kind of slits his throat? Like, what is that? And then later he's like, you marked me.
He did mark him. I don't know.
With just like kind of a sharp ring? Like what?
It's visible even in this shitty copy.
Yeah.
When he does it.
He drags a red line across his neck.
And they kick him over a ledge or something?
Oh, yeah. They kick him off a cliff. That's pretty amazing when they kick him off a cliff.
No indication of how far he falls, but he clearly goes for a ride.
They don't know he's Zeus. They just think he's an idiot.
Yeah,
right?
they just think he's some gardener who, like looking at the ladies and maybe heard about the drugs.
It's like, yep. Kick him off a cliff. He drops. He drops when he goes over that edge. Like
his child bride is curing him. Somebody's curing him. And she goes, damn it, Zeus. I thought you were out of this. And he goes, no, I can't be out of this. So then the chief, takes him in his dirty overalls to the crime scene, which I could have sworn they said was the president's wife and daughter.
The president's ex-wife, her adopted daughter.
I'll verify that, but...
It seems like you couldn't just kill the president's wife and daughter.
You'd think that. At some point, yeah, the white guy and the Dave Chappelle guy are watching the news. Oh, this is so funny. And the president goes on camera reading clearly from a script.
A letter from
yes,
somebody who's
a guy wrote me a letter. Or his wife did, and his
her husband died.
Yeah,
and she's been on her own.
Yeah,
and people keep breaking into her house and beating her. Is that what's happening?
I can see her tears on the paper.
And we must not stand for this.
It is time to declare war on drug abuse in America. The time has come to cripple the power of the mob in America. We, the American people, want the mob and its allies brought to justice and its power broken. We have to.
So then where is it? Damn, did I write it down?
We need a crime killer.
So he goes, and we are going to go after crime, and we mean business.
Shake the crime stick!
So then the Dave Chappelle guy goes, if he means business, then we mean business. And then the big guy goes,
what do you mean by that?
I thought that was a pretty funny, unintentional Laurel and Hardy gag.
We need to kill the president.
Dumb, stupid bastard.
You got to kill the president.
Some criminals need to kill the president.
Seemingly just guys who are doing some big deals, but only in California, in this town.
Even if they were a national syndicate, I don't think you can kill the president.
No, and you wouldn't want to, because that would
bring the heat. And the military is going to come after you.
And they're so nonchalant about it. I guess we'll just kill the president.
What's the Dave Chappelle guy's? Is his name Freddie?
Eddie.
I don't know. Everybody's doesn't have a picture.
I just keep picturing his dangly eye.
People's names in here are just like, there's a guy, his picture is clearly he's like 40 or 50, and it just says kids, plural.
What?
And I'm like, well, what does that mean? He played multiple children? Like, this, it's one of those movies that's just so old and stupid that there's just no tangible record of, without actually watching the movie and trying to catch somebody's name, which I can't be bothered to do.
Don't be so modest. That's how you found out his name was Eddie.
Honestly, I really fluctuated a lot between being like, oh, this is boring. Oh, this is the best movie ever made.
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's campy. It's stupid, but it's also bad. So he takes him. So they're at the crime scene and they leave, and they're in the car. And this is a pivotal scene because he goes, "We have a witness. The neighbor girl saw it through the window. Oh, but she just saw a couple of blacks and Puerto Ricans or something.
2 blacks and a Puerto Rican."
Yeah, and he goes, "Well, she's an eyewitness." And the chief's like, "Well, yeah, but 1, it was dark. 2, she makes up things all the time. 3, she can't be trusted.
Number 4, she watches a lot of TV.
And Zeus is like, "I need to see this child.
I need her to come to my house, spend the night. I will get to the bottom of
Well,
this."
I'll tell you." He goes, "Why? Sometimes you never know what you'll find when you do stuff." And he goes, "I need to see this child." And he goes,
You got a feeling for this kid?
"You're on to something. I can just tell it. And I don't know what it is."
Is there anything wrong with that?
Oh, no, nothing at all.
And Zeus goes, and this is at around the 30-minute mark, he goes,
Nothing more than a little innocent romance, that's all.
those are the words. I had to watch it 7 or 8 times
Yeah.
to verify. He wants to see this girl for some reason. The chief knows something. He knows something, but he won't tell him why. And his response is just for a little romance. So the kid shows up at his house, and she's with an old man, her grandfather, who apparently named her. And they're staying there now, I guess, because that's how Zeus rolls.
Yeah.
And so they're out in the backyard, and they're doing like a cop powwow, handing off files and shit. One guy was in jail, some guy, and after he got released, he did something that marked somebody, I think, or killed them the same way as the lady and the girl. So he wants the files of everybody that was in jail with him that got released after him. And I already got it. He gives it to him. He takes all of their photos, and he goes over to the little girl. He starts placing them all down. You could tell there's more photos than he thought there would be. He's placing them, and then he's overlapping them and moving them around. And he goes, "Little girl, I need you to look at these and tell me, do you recognize any of these men?" And she's a terrible actor. She grabs one and like puts it on her face. "I think this one. Very good. Excellent." And then he grabs them all and puts them in a pile, and he throws them up in the air, and they land on the ground. And he goes, "Can you do it again?" And she goes, "I think this one." We don't even know if it's the same one. And he goes, "We have our man." And they're just like, brilliant.
These are some pretty good impressions you're doing.
Let's go violate this guy's civil rights because some dumb kid picked up a photo. At one point, he's also speaking Russian?
French.
He's making a phone call, and he's speaking a foreign language. I think it's Russian.
The chief?
Yes. Unclear why or to who. He's just doing that. Oh, here it
Le
is.
ciel de Paris, c'est très mauvais. Oui, les citoyens demandaient les fleurs blanches.
And so,
What
they
the
go
fuck?
bust a guy?
Who's the guy?
I don't know. I don't know if they actually do go bust a guy. Eventually, he's having a flashback to training in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And it's him and 2 other guys
Yeah.
in what appears to be central to Northern California. And there's like mild explosion sound effects going off in the background. So I'm like, are they training in an active war zone? Why are you, what? And they're running through tires, climbing, rope.
Wait, is this is when the guy's like, "You're grabbing the bottom of my heart"?
Yeah, so the guy,
This is after he's like, I need 2 men to do this with me. He's like, "Those aren't cops." And he's like, "I know, but they're the men to do the job." And
because here's a flashback.
that's when he that training isn't, I don't think, for Vietnam. I thought it was training for them to be like CIA, whatever Zeus is now off the books. Like they're, once you're in, you're in.
See, that's
it's
what I
not
thought
the army.
Too, but why is stuff exploding in the background?
Well, isn't that the
Because then
flashbacks
they're
where they're
cutting
eating
to the flashbacks.
the pollen? What are they eating?
God,
they torture them by making them eat some sort of pollen-y dust, but also at some point he spits it out and it looks like goo. But then also there's a cut where he spits into another actor's face and it goes in his mouth a little bit.
Well, and
Remember
also
that?
he's peeing. the Viet Cong soldier is peeing into the trough. Eat! I will not.
Is that? Oh, that's maybe why it's the goo instead of just the powder because it's full of piss.
Honestly, at this point,
well,
I was having trouble figuring out. I thought, they're training to be CIA now, even though the guy training them is an army guy.
Right.
But then they're intersplicing cuts of all of them in this weird Vietnam thing.
That's what they all know each other from. They serve together. That's why he needs them by his side for this amazing final sequence.
When we see them training in the bush, every now and again there's like a in the background. So I'm thinking, maybe this is them training for Vietnam, and then we see a flash forward, which also is a flashback. Anyways.
Dreams inside of dreams were being incepted.
The guy that's training them, he reminds me of the brother from Home Movies.
Spartanetics 101.
He keeps doing this thing where he swirls his baton and then clamps it under. You know the Forager brother?
Yeah, I thought I saw his name in one of these 3 movies. Maybe it is him.
Maybe. He's tall and lithe.
What the fuck is that guy's name?
I don't know.
Gregory Butthole?
Quite.
Garrett Graham.
And then he goes, you passed. Oh, so right in the beginning, right before they fall into line, he's being a jerk, the drill instructor.
Well, this is the thing that I think is happening is that these guys have all been through Nam and want to fucking murder this guy for talking shit to them.
Well, and he's talking shit, and the smaller guy, he claps back at him. And yeah, the guy goes right into his chest. And he goes,
that hurts. Sir. I'm holding on to the bottom of your fucking heart, pretty boy. Just one more word out of you and I'm going to rip it out.
That's disturbing.
Don't do that. Sorry. And then he lets him go.
Please don't grab the bottom of my heart. I don't know that you can actually do that, but please don't.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can get to it. It's behind bones.
You can get up. When I was young, I used to be able to get up into my ribs. You're not touching
not by vital
Heart's
organs.
Here,
yeah,
bottom ribs down here.
We're designed to have protection around the parts that you'll die if
you
touched.
could just reach into a guy's stomach and squeeze his heart to death.
It looked like you're gesturing towards the TV, and I was like, "What show do you see, Julie?"
Oh yeah, The Ring. And
shit, no.
So they pass training, and the guy just walks off into the woods.
He's going into the corn.
People will come, Ray.
So now they're at Zeus's house in army fatigue, but Zeus isn't. They're in their Jeep. Zeus is on his Kawasaki motorcycle. And his wife, damn it, Zeus, why do you have to go off and,
Are we in the last 27 minutes now?
Pretty much.
All right, dude.
And Zeus, he goes, oh, don't worry, baby. And then she goes back to those guys. And I thought she was going to be like, you bring him home alive, but she doesn't. She says something like, good luck.
John, Mark, we're really proud of you guys. We're really proud.
You were talking up this last sequence, this last chunk, right?
And then all of a sudden the guy comes running up. And what does he say? Oh, because they killed the little girl.
Oh yeah, is this?
And
the grandfather comes running at him at some point,
dead.
but no,
he gets killed too.
There's some wild gray-haired man that comes racing after.
Comes running up to them. They killed the grandpa too. So they fucking peel out and haul ass to.
Oh, they showed the Dave Chappelle guy like going into the house, like looking, and you see the girl playing with the doll or something.
I think so, yeah. And they go.
No,
to,
I'm telling you right now.
They go to a drug refinery.
Oh yeah, is this where they pull up outside and they fight the 2 guys?
They knock him out.
And then the other guy comes out. He's like, "What's going on here?" And then another guy comes out. He's like, "What's happening?"
Comes out. He goes, "What's going on?" And they go, "It was an accident."
Then the other guy's like, "It's cool."
He goes, "What's going on?" "It was an accident." And then he walks up to the car. Not at all.
But he tells the other guy, like, it's cool, so the other guy leaves.
Yes.
So it's just him when he goes to the car.
Karate chop the guys. A shot gets off.
He pops, the other guy pops out of the back seat to get him.
Well, they knock the guys out outside of the car.
Okay, yes.
And then the first guy comes out like, what's going on? Oh, it was an accident. Shouldn't that guy still be laying on the ground?
Yeah.
And then the other guy comes out like, hey, what's happened? Oh, it was just an accident. And then the first guy approaches the car. And
who pops out of the back seat?
Onto the window to jib-jab. It's like you aren't alerted to the fact that there's 2 40-year-old white men in army fatigues.
And bodies around the car.
Bodies around the car. and Zeus in the back. Oh, because earlier when Zeus is trying to do his little investigation, he sees a guy, a Vato, in a bar talking to a guy. And then they both go outside and do a drug deal. And then Zeus runs up on him. Hey, what do you talk to you? And the guy knows like superb martial arts.
Oh, yeah, when he kicks the wall.
And he's whipping it around. And he eventually pulls out a knife because Zeus gets the upper hand on him. Who are you, man? What do you want? I'm Zeus. The guy goes, the crime killer? Yes. And then he cuts the guy's face. And so now he gets out of the back seat, and I don't know. You could tell they had a loose idea about what the fight was going to be, but not a clear rehearsal, and decided to do one take. Because the guy ends up on the hood of the car, flayed out, but So I think at this point, they just start shooting at guys to get in to the drug den.
It's into that building? It moves on from that building fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, so they get into the building, and they take it over. Even though there's only 3 of them, they line everybody up. But then Dave Chappelle, he gets out of there. He jumps into a car and starts flying out of there. So Zeus jumps on his motorcycle and goes after him.
Yeah.
And it's clearly not Zeus driving, doing flips, tricks or whatever up and down dirt.
I thought he was going to just zoom right down that mountain to catch up to Dave Chappelle.
I did too.
No.
In fact, they show 2 different scenes that are both in the same area of him doing a jump. And boy, eventually, Dave Chappelle stalls out in the sand, and he has it at some point when he's driving and taunting Zeus or happy about his escape. I could have sworn he was in a convertible.
They switch cars on you?
Maybe, but he's not. He's in a car with a sunroof, and Zeus comes flying up on his Kawasaki, and this stunt was fucked up. The dude actually did some sort of a jump and landed with one of either the front or the rear wheel of his motorcycle through the sunroof, chars up Dave Chappelle's face, and then continues to go forward and jumps off of it and just whaps his face into the fucking dirt, man, and tries to like cover himself because the bike's going ape shit because it's just an out of control motorcycle. I'm just like, man, that dude, boy, he earned his stripes that day. And then we see Dave Chappelle's face, and it's just melted.
His eyeball, they did makeup, so his eyeball's like hanging out down his cheek.
It's good effect.
And then
considering
Zeus shoots him in the neck.
He does.
And there's no blood.
No. He says, I'm rich, bitch. Then he goes back to the compound.
Well, isn't there like a little bit more to that death? Like he shoots him in the neck, maybe just talks shit to him, and then leaves?
Yeah.
He doesn't shoot him anymore or anything?
Just the one.
He's dead? Is he dead?
In the neck. No blood. Just So Zeus goes back to the Kingpin compound, and the big guy seems to be alerted to the fact that somebody's in the house, but then he's completely caught off guard when he sees
He's
Zeus.
looking around. Zeus is just creeping around. He's like, who are you?
He's got a kung fu suit on.
Yeah.
For some reason.
He's ready to go.
And his cane.
The most dangerous road of all is the one called revenge.
And he goes, who are you? He's not alarmed.
What does Zeus say to him?
God. I'll insert it right here.
Your little spirit is right here. Can you feel it? Don't you remember? You marked my neck.
You are
Zeus.
So they start fighting. And the guy's kind of whooping his ass.
Yeah.
Cutting him up, throwing him through shit. Eventually, though, Zeus somehow kills him. Throws something into his throat, or
I don't know.
He's dead. Oh, there's a really stupid part. Right when he's sneaking in, he runs into a guy by the pool who does some kung fu on him, and Zeus throws him in the water. And the guy's like, I can't swim.
Oh, yeah.
And Zeus leaves him to die.
The Asian guy. Yeah.
Who, when he's fighting the Kingpin, that guy bursts in with a gun. He's behind the Kingpin. He's just firing bullets. I'm like, your boss is between you and Zeus.
Wasn't that guy dubbed too when he was in
so.
the pool? It was really weird.
I think Zeus dubbed him. I can't swim. So he's just firing erratically, I guess, over the bad guy's shoulder, but not hitting anything.
No.
And Zeus throws the fire poker into him, kills him, and somehow kills the big guy. And then the lady shows up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, before we get to the lady, at one point in this movie, a guy runs and jumps on a big box.
Okay.
Do you remember this? Like it was like a warehouse. Like some guy did a really fluid like run jump and just landed on top of this box. It was so fluid, and I was like, "Whoa! Did they pick this guy because he could do that? That's a good move."
Yeah,
I was impressed by that.
I think I remember that, but
what's up with this lady? I mean, I remember what happens, but
I think she's Indian.
Oh, she's not a black lady?
I don't know, but she's the
actual boss.
Yeah,
that's what's going on here.
Yeah,
because at this point, oh man.
And Zeus says, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." And does she have like a poison ring?
Oh man, no. It's like they're gonna kiss or something, right? She has a ring that triggers the poison dart shooter behind them
out of the wall,
and he somehow knows it spins her around, and she gets darted and tries to claw his face. It's the real Dracula fucking 1970s shot there.
And crime's killed. The end.
All you had to do was wipe those people out.
Mm-hmm. So then we flash forward some period of time, and Zeus is in the street playing Frisbee with two boys. He's in the middle. A boy throws it to him. He throws it to the other boy. That boy throws it back.
He's
throws
like,
it to the first boy.
I want to show you a handcuff trick. Come here.
Yeah. And then
that's a Gacy joke.
A limo pulls up. And he goes, "Hey, get the fuck out of here, kids. Play over there." And a guy gets out. It's a CIA guy.
I want you to meet somebody.
And he gets in, and it's the president.
The fucking president has come to say hi to him.
So Zeus is sitting in the driver's side back seat. The president is next to him. Across from them are two other guys, and then the driver. This scene feels like they were all on acid or really high on marijuana.
Okay.
Because
I feel like Zeus is probably not, the guy who plays him probably doesn't do any drugs.
No, but they're all really giddy. And the president's like, "Hey, I'm going to give you your badge back."
Do you think maybe they're really excited because they defeated crime? They killed it?
Maybe. So he gives him his badge, and Zeus reaches forward and takes the gun out of the holster of the guy sitting across from him and gives it to the president. And then the guy reaches for his holster like, "What?" I'm like, "You didn't just see that?" And not only that, when he gives the president the gun, he apparently also confiscates his pocket watch.
Yeah, he steals it.
So the president's
Why do
like,
you say confiscate? He fucking pickpocketed him. He stole it.
Pilfers it. So
he stole from the fucking president.
Yes, that's what I said. And he goes, "Here's $200,000 also." And he goes, "Oh, I didn't do it for the money." He gives the guy the envelope. That's when he takes the gun, gives it to the president. He goes, "What? Oh." And then he takes his watch. He steals his watch. And they're all laughing hysterically.
Take care of yourself, Mr. President.
You make me laugh.
What is that about?
The driver's like super stupid, and Zeus,
he wants to ask.
He throws his hat at Zeus, and Zeus throws it back, and they're laughing hysterically. The president can't contain himself, and Zeus gets out. At which point, the CIA guy gets out and starts talking to him.
Zeus, when will you ever learn how to play the game?
But where he gets out of the limo, that's where the president is seated. And he goes, I don't want anything to do with you guys, or whatever. The car leaves. The driver at one point, he goes, "Oh, president, I thought he was going to be bad."
Would it be okay if I get out and ask Zeus for his autograph?
Check it. And he takes off his hat, and he's got a Z written on it.
Do you see what I see? Take off your hat. Of course he doesn't see what you fucking see. His hat, it's on him.
It's like the movie, like Zorro.
Yeah,
it's like the movie.
A Z for Zeus.
And so the limo leaves, and Zeus reveals that he has the pocket watch.
He's looking at it, yep.
He even says, like, "Hey, stole the president's watch."
God, I hate this.
And then the limo pulls back up, and the president gets out, and he's feeling his...
You son of a bitch, you stole my pocket watch.
I think I left my watch. Nah, you got it. It's like, yeah, you didn't. Okay. I tell you what, you can keep it, but let me show you how it works. You press this button, and it opens. Yeah? You press this button, and it plays a pretty song.
You press it twice, and it plays a pretty song.
Oh, yeah. And then you press this, and he throws it in, and it fucking explodes.
Yeah, dude. You do have to tell Zeus that, because if you accidentally press it 3 times and you explode, that's no good.
True, but now he doesn't have it, so
No.
what's the point? And
That's a bad thing to have, man. You could press that button 3 times in your pocket accidentally.
Well, and why do you give the bomb to the president?
Just in case he needs it.
No.
Oh.
You have Gerald Butler.
Gerard?
Jerry.
Is it Gerald?
Yeah.
Not Gerard?
I call him Gerald.
Big
It's
G?
British cultural thing.
He's in one of my favorite movies. Have you ever seen Greenland?
You better believe it. Whoa! Big time.
What'd you say one time? The last in the Kung Fu, you're like little time.
Medium
you say,
time.
I don't think you say medium.
I did.
Oh, dude.
I've been practicing it all day, determining whether I should go little or medium.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did it.
Not so big time.
No. And this is funny. So the movie's just about to end. It's on the precipice of ending, and the president and Zeus are doing their handshake or whatever. Zeus, he does a thing like they're gonna do a freeze frame, but they haven't quite done it. But he holds it.
Oh my God, that happened for
and
real?
The president is like sort of still, and then it freezes, and then the music kicks in.
I was not sure if I was just reacting weird to the freeze frame.
Yeah.
There was something wrong about it.
He held it. He does and he holds it, and the president's like, yeah, and then it freezes.
Why would they do that?
I don't
Why
know.
wouldn't you just freeze it right when he moves?
I guarantee you he was in that editing bay, so I don't know. But then they play like a Shaft song. Zeus. Right?
It's a bad mother.
Basically. Unfortunately, it's a VHS rip on here, so it gets cutty a little bit. So it's not like a fluid, full song. But
what do you rate Brandon Lee in this?
I mean, what do? He's a 0. I even looked up. I was thinking, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I got brain. I'm going to go try to find somebody who talks about this movie.
You got brain? Who talks about it? Has anybody ever talked about it?
There is a podcast that covered it.
Did you listen to the whole podcast?
I didn't. I found an article, and I sent you a little bit of a blurb from it, where they were like, this scene happens, and apparently Brandon Lee is in here. And if you can spot him, then congratulations, your superpower is night vision. I was hoping to find a point where somebody maybe had a better quality cut, and it was evident. But the impression that I get, unless it was that guy...
Nobody can prove it?
Towards the end, because there is a younger guy who something happens to him, and we see his face. It's clearly not him, but... I want to think, oh, maybe that was him. But whatever it is, I don't think we see him in any way that's discernible. And I feel like how he ended up in this, maybe he was on set for something else and wandered in because, boy, I can assume maybe he's that body or that body, but.
What if it's all a lie?
That's another thing. It could very well be. Somebody after the fact on IMDb just types in, oh, yeah, I was the best boy, key grip. And, Brandon Lee, little do you know, he was that gangster.
He really liked George Pan-Andreas, and he was talking about how he was the next big thing in Hollywood.
Because no form of this movie exists that isn't garbage. So would anybody ever know if you... you know what? I didn't want to say this.
I'm
saving it for just now. I was the waiter.
Oh, I was one of the little kids.
Uh-huh.
You went for a waiter.
Yeah, I'm 70, so.
Yeah. So you give him a 0. You know what? I'll give him a 10.
You fucker.
What do you rate this movie?
What if he was the motorcycle stuntman? Wouldn't that be something? The movie, fuck, man. This is one of those movies that exists on multiple levels. Surprisingly enough, it's a pretty competently made movie.
It's so bizarre. When I was watching it,
yeah,
I was like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just a little bit off always, but like the shots are kind of right. like the structure of it's kind of right. The story of it's kind of right. It's
Everybody's
just like
doing a job.
it's just a little bit weird at all times.
You can
like
tell...
those shootouts with the cap gun sound effects and like nothing else happened. Just like pew,
yes.
pew, pew.
You can tell where this movie, what the shortcomings were.
Yeah.
Namely, the guy that made it.
Yeah, we never talked about the rolling in the big shootout. George Pan-Andreas just keeps rolling. Like he has a gun, and he thinks that that's going to keep him safe, and he can shoot other people.
Yeah.
Roll, roll, roll. He's not like shifting directions either. He's just like constantly roll, roll.
It worked.
Yeah, in the movie, it's so wild.
Because if he would have had the wherewithal to bring in somebody
like a stunt coordinator and an assistant director,
a script, somebody to do the second pass of a script, just to clean up the language and maybe cut out where he talks about wanting to romance a child, the little boy's wiener.
He just keeps luring children to his home.
Yeah, because you can see where like I said, Hulk Hogan, but Terry Bollea was a relatively articulate, charismatic person.
With kids.
So he can explain what his relationship is. He wants you guys to say your prayers and take your vitamins, exercise, and become, even though he was a steroid abuser, like good people.
Remember when he fucked Bubba the Love Sponge's wife? And he's like, oh, I feel like a fat pig.
Yeah, and he said the N-word.
Why does he say the M-word?
I don't know. That's how he gets off.
He calls her that and hits her in the back of the head.
So, yeah, if you would have cut back on some of that stuff, the kid stuff is really weird, and they go over it too many times. And, boy, I understand because, look, he's got a movie forever now, right?
I think he made quite a few things.
He's involved with 9, 10 things.
Yeah, he's a star in only 2.
He can put this on in his home theater and watch himself in a movie.
I bet he does.
I guarantee you he does.
How old do you think he is in this?
In this? 39?
He seemed kind of old, yeah.
Just like old, but not like old.
Yeah.
Not like Charles Bronson.
So like us, old.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And to that end, if that's really all he really wanted, because sometimes you can watch yourself in something you've created that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Whether or not anybody ever has seen it, a large portion of people, or even enjoyed it, it's the fact that it exists and it's a quality standard up to your standards that makes it appear as if anybody saw it or those who did see it surely like it as much as you. So to that end, I mean, congratulations.
Why has he never remastered this? He's still making things. Why didn't he make this pristine copy so people can find Brandon Lee?
Honestly, I'm wondering why nobody's done it. No, Blu-ray distribution house.
You know what? I'm going to find his email. I'm going to email him.
Mm-hmm. Give me the 35 mil print.
Oh, I thought me telling him to give you $35 million.
No. Give me the print. I'll go to these local places where you can transfer film to DVD.
I don't think he should give it to you.
Yeah.
I don't think Jules doesn't have any experience with this. I don't think you should give it to him,
But
Jar.
even still, I mean, hey, he made this probably with very little experience.
Are we just going to hold that print up to the light and just try to find Brandon? We don't do anything with it?
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's gone forever.
And I don't think you'll ever know. There's no historian that would do that. This movie's of no importance.
Yeah.
And, Brandon Lee at this point is kind of a footnote.
At this point in time right now for you and me?
Yeah, in our world.
Yeah.
For, I think, a lot of people.
We're just like, we like him because we were there in that window.
People look at The Crow and it's the tragedy around it, and that's the extent of it.
And they're like, oh, man, how about this Crow movie? Boy, they sure never were able to make another one that was even remotely good.
Outside of people that knew him and maybe himself, we might be the only people so far who have watched as much of his filmography as we can get our hand on.
I don't know about that. There are 26 people in the Brandon Lee Reddit.
So?
And one person said the only bad movie he made was maybe Laser Mission. So somebody out there is watching him. Although, I agree with you, because who's watching Kung Fu the movie? And who's watching Kung Fu the Next Generation? The person who uploaded it. So they probably are also very into Brandon Lee. Unless they really like... Robert Dunbar was the name of that fucking guy.
Man. Some people, they just have one movie and they're like, oh, the YouTube, I'll just put it on there. for no reason. Some people say they have the full movie, and you click on it, and it's not the full movie.
No, it's like a huge scam.
It's just a text that says, "Hey, you want to watch the full movie?
Download the sketchy website.
Website.
There is no full movie, but we will do something bad to you.
Yeah. So we did our ratings, right?
Oh, we didn't rate the movie itself.
Oh, the movie itself? So I gave Brandon a 0. You gave him a 10. It's a pretty close spread. For Zeus, the crime killer. Oh, so that's what I was saying before we went on about a 15-minute tirade. It's a movie that it's hard to gauge purely on its merit because we live in like a ironic, post-ironic, post-punk world where memes are our bread and butter.
The Room, yeah.
Right. And it on a lot of ways, he does have a real Tommy Wiseau vibe to him. I enjoyed the movie. I was incredibly bored by the movie. And then somewhere in there, I was confused, slightly disturbed. But I'm going to give the movie a 6.
Oh, man.
I
was
might watch this movie again.
Dude, I think I almost have to. I was texting Jenny about it. I said, listen, this guy, he killed crime so good, the president came to visit him.
Yeah. Was the president, was he ever aware of the fact that those guys were trying to kill him? Was that ever an actual threat?
I don't know about that. I do know it seems like everybody knows who the crime killer is, though.
Oh, Zeus?
Well, like, he's the only one that can help us. He's getting rid of crime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, you give it a 6, huh?
Yeah.
I will give it a 5 because, like, my brain wandered a lot, but I was also pretty impressed with this movie. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Just when you're like, well, this movie's kind of dumb. He fucking is riding a motorcycle around, chasing down Dave Chappelle, and he shoots him in the fucking neck and his eyeballs hanging out.
And compared to the quality, and maybe it's just that it was easier to do some of the things they did back then, but the quality of Matador is a Neil Breen movie.
I gotta watch the trailer. It never occurred to me to even watch the trailer.
Yeah, it's just on IMDb. It just played for me, so I was like, oh, okay.
We gotta watch it, right? I mean, we really do. Don't we really have to watch that?
I mean, I would. You know, it looks like majority of it is green screen.
Are these the only 2 movies this guy's been in? Because we could just go ahead and say we're doing a George Pan-Andreas series.
Well, I mean, there's like a weird thing where Eric Roberts is in Matador.
I know. There's and Dominique Swain. He got the B-movie people. Do you remember Dominique Swain? She was Lolita in the Jeremy Irons Lolita on HBO. Oh. She was in a couple. She was kind of like a hot thing for a second where people were like, oh, Dominique Swain's like the new pretty girl.
Okay, so he is an actor. 2 things coming out. Pontius Pilate, which is in pre-production, and Who Lives Last, which is also in pre-production. So
George Pan-Andreas has 2 movies coming out?
Yeah.
That he acts in?
Yes. He plays Pontius Pilate.
Pontius Pilate?
Pontius. Is that Jesus related?
Is it?
Is he the guy that was the criminal next to Jesus?
Close enough.
Can we give George Pan-Andreas a score just in case we end up doing him?
Him himself?
Yeah. What do you give him as an actor?
10.
Fuck, really? You're kidding though, right?
I mean, what do you do? I guess if you really want me to do it, 4. You know, you can deliver the lines.
Yeah, it's pretty insulting.
No
Anybody give him any more.
You know, but he's there.
10.
Kind of seems like,
what if I say 10? No, I was just like, I mean, seriously though, 10.
10.5.
No, I think 4 is probably legit. Mm-hmm. He's not horrible. It's weird. He can do it and have some emotion, but yeah, he's got that weird accent, and it's like he makes the wrong choice in almost every scene.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Paco the gardener.
It feels just like he wrote it, and everybody else read the script and found their character. It just seems like he wrote it and then just showed up and did it.
I'm a pretty cool guy. Let's do this.
You know, there's no nuance. There's no character. It's just a guy who is uncomfortably close with children who everybody reveres and fears if they do crime.
Yeah, because he will kill you. All right. You can check us out on Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, YouTube. We doing filmographies. Come on, Twitter. Do filmographies. send us a Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
We do filmographies at gmail.com. You can give us a phone call. Jules, you're looking up the number right now. 763-634-1897.
I'm looking up a lift.
Oh, really? Okay. He's not. I thought maybe you're looking up the number.
I don't have the number.
No, it's on the Instagram.
I don't believe that.
You believe what you want to believe. I'm an American. Call us. Leave a voicemail. George Pan-Andreas. You know about phones? You can call us.
Mm-hmm.
I've been Jason.
I've been Jules.
That's right, he has. We'll see you next week.